How come you stopped dancing, Chad?
Dude, that intro music got me so excited.
Right?
I looked down at the little window and I just see Chad.
I was like air drumming it. You couldn't see my hands because they're below the camera.
What do I do with my hands?
Talladega Nights reference. I got it.
Boom! That's why you rule, Chad.
That's why I rule.
Talladega. Dang.
It's
been a while since I've
how
seen
long has
that
it been? How long has it been since we did this?
It's been forever.
It's been a hot minute.
Year.
Yeah.
It hasn't really been over a year.
No.
Has it been over a year? Wait a minute.
Did we hook the Titanic joke, guys? Chill out.
Okay.
Oh, jeez. I was like, tell us there's an iceberg before you start freaking sinking our boat.
No, I got the Talladega reference, but not the Titanic reference.
I missed. Yeah.
I think the last time Chad was on with us was when we were working on Temerity, on the marketing for Temerity.
Oh my gosh. Has it really been
No. Didn't we do after, because there was holy crap, I think that was the last time.
Matt, and then I think Matt, you and I did one, just you and me.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
I'm still working on editing that, and
okay.
I'm talking about shows that are good.
We had Chad on there.
We're talking about shows that are going to show up, man. If it's still editing. How long ago was that?
That hurt me.
That's right. No.
Man.
So how long have you had to edit that then, Matt?
6 months? No, it hasn't been 6 months. It's been like wasn't it last year? It was.
If you choose to hook somebody up from Crypto Comics with a free book now and then, one of us edits on time.
All right, message received. Message received. I got so. Do we want to talk about books? We can talk about books. You ready to talk about books?
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about your books.
You know what?
Jared froze at the best point there.
We need to call Elon and call it Star Blink.
Ooh,
maybe. Should we explain to people what's going on with Jared's internet so that people don't?
Yeah. So everybody, if I.
Hey, it's good enough for Ukraine, man.
I feel like that summarized it really well.
Like I was saying, you saw what's going on.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and repeat what I think Jared said. Jared finally got Starlink, everybody. So, yay. But Jared's only connected via Wi-Fi. So, boo. So Jared's So Jared finally gets updated and still has issues.
I'm calling mine Star Blink until I get hardwired in.
Okay.
That works.
Because it keeps blinking on me.
Now, hang on. How you said it was more expensive? How much more expensive? I'm calling you out, bro. How much more expensive?
It's about $30, $40 more a month.
I was gonna say 20, dude. $20, man. You can solve all your. Just pay $30. I'm just saying. He froze again.
He froze.
Oh
right
my gosh,
too.
dude. Oh.
I'm gonna fuck. Now, see, every time something awesome happens, I'm blinked the fuck out. Sorry about that.
Language.
I'm sorry.
Language.
Sorry. This is just frustrating. This is I'm sorry.
No donut.
I don't even know where we are in the joke because I'm such a joke.
My face is so red, dude. Oh my heck.
Is that a burn or is that just you're happy to see me?
I'm laughing so hard I'm turning purple. Jeezy crackers.
Hey, breathe, buddy, breathe. Take that straw.
Okay, so I need to get us back on track. Chad, we wanted to talk to you a little bit about Death Watch. I mean, you're the artist on it. You got Jared Gifford as the writer. Church Obuck. Am I saying that right? As
Chuck Obuck.
Oh, Chuck. Okay.
Chuck Michael Obuck goes by
right.
Nightshade on Instagram, and then how not to color on Twitter, which is self-deprecating, but definitely a joke because he for sure knows how to color.
Oh yeah, the color work in this is amazing. And then you also have your I believe it's Zen did the editing and also the lettering in it.
Yes, and it was, and just so you guys know, the issue that we're putting out right now is an Ashcan, and an Ashcan is basically.
Did you just say Ashcan?
Ashcan. G-rated, bro. Remember, this is supposed to be G-rated.
Sorry, you blinked out. You Ash. What? Ash.
I'm gonna mail you $30 so you can have a hard line.
Thank you. I need to keep this up.
So,
for those of you guys who don't know,
what's an Ashcan? Is that you put ashes in an Ashcan, right?
I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at him. Right. I meant to be looking at you. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
So originally, what they were little books that were created in order to just keep the copyright kind of or establish the trademark. Right.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s, I want to say it was Flaming Carrot. That comic had started giving them out to friends and family and those people who actually worked on the book. So because of that, there was that kind of rarity and collectability just because there were so few of them. I don't know if you guys realize it, but that collectability and rarity kind of sounds a little familiar.
Mm-hmm. Really? Tell us what's familiar about it.
The collectability and rarity.
And familiarity? Is it familiar? Is that what?
Is it what?
Familiar?
Familial? No, it is not family.
Familiar?
I'm just saying.
I'm just kidding. Sorry.
All right.
Keep
going. Official.
So basically, wait. Let me
summarize this corner.
Wait. Oh, Chad, you're up in the super cool, awesome corner. Hi, buddy.
Oh man.
Okay, so an ash.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Look at where it froze him, guys. Can we just appreciate that for a moment?
Okay. They were also proofs that went around to the editorial staff, and they would basically go through their final edits. It was basically a printed proof of the comic. So so basically meant just for the people to read who were basically going to give you feedback on any final edits before it actually went to print. So
so this is pre-print.
Yes. Yep.
Oh wow, that makes it very collectible.
Yes. And if you look, there are still, I think, we had Jared had a read through, I had a read through, and we're supposed to go through our final read through with Zen, but we found 5 mistakes that we have to fix before we actually go to press.
What?
What did Megatron says? What?
Megatron said, "You pitiful human." That's what Megatron would say. I mean, if he was going to say something. But what I was, wait, what did I say? What were we talking about again?
Excuse me 1 second here, guys. I'm going to do some tech stuff behind the scenes. See if
here we go.
Connection. He's going to try and.
Obviously, this might not work.
Okay. All right.
This is so unfair, guys. Every time I think I'm hearing what you're saying, it stops. Okay. All right, let's do this. Okay, tell me, Chad.
It stops at the perfect time, too.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It doesn't stop at the perfect time.
It does.
I'm completely lost.
If they don't give out comedy awards for podcasts, this is comedy gold right here, man. I haven't laughed. My stomach hurts now from laughing.
Hey, listen, laughter is language of the soul, and if you want to live longer, you should laugh a lot more.
Well, I'm laughing.
Just don't laugh at me.
I
have sensitive feelings. I'm super sensitive. I can't take. Wait, who are you laughing at? I just said don't laugh at me, and both of you started laughing at me.
Can't afford a $30 router.
All right, Chad.
I can remember that sign. I would throw it at you right now.
I know. I'm sorry. Oh, my face.
Okay. We got to Zen. We got to go back into Zen. Oh, wait a minute. That's one of your writers, huh? Okay, we can't say
he's
that.
The editor. He's the editor. Editor and letter.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm so sorry. Editor and editor.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm sorry.
So,
I did not mean to unzen the Zen.
I wanted to ask you kind of about the just the location of the stories. Was that you have the Carpathian Mountains in Germany, and was the story inspired from the location, or was the location inspired from the story?
So before we ever started writing the book, Jared and I did a ton of research on vampires. And vampire mythology is as old as human history, which is that's crazy to think about, but it's as old as human history. So long as there has been a written record, there are stories about vampires, and almost every culture has one. But the latest, like the one that went up to almost modern times, happened in Eastern Europe, and they did some crazy stuff. They buried people in coffins that were full of spikes. They buried people and then put cages on top of their grave. The labyrinth was a hedge that they would have around a cemetery, so that when the dead reanimated, they would get lost in the maze.
Oh, wow.
So the first vampires were actually very, very much like zombies. They were just sort of reanimated corpses. And then they grew in power as history moved on. And that's some of the stuff that we're trying to incorporate with the story that we're telling.
So, like with the Chinese kind of history of the vampires, they used to actually put rice around the grave. So when they rise from the dead, for some reason, I guess they're all OCD and would start to count the rice. And eventually the sun would come up and kill them.
Why are they OCD?
I don't know. Nobody knows.
Okay. They're like magically bound to do it. And it's the same in Western culture with a ring of salt. They can't pass the ring of salt. Now they attribute that to like I think it's like a symbol of Saint Michael, or anywho. You can tell I really researched it, but so there are a lot of Western equivalents that are the same way. It's just basically like a magic rule of that culture, binds them, gives them some weaknesses. But there are some universal ones. Sunlight is almost a completely universal weakness to vampires. That they can only be active during night. They're 100% nocturnal. That's almost throughout all the legends. That's there. And then there's some that are very specific to certain cultures. For example, the seduction, almost the sex part of it. That is very European. But Lilith, who was considered the first succubus. Lilith
Adam's first wife, stuff like that.
Right. That goes all the way back to the Kabbalah. So that's like ancient Hebrew mysticism. So that's and there's a lot of similarities between Lilith and vampirism. So anyway, yeah.
Okay.
Does that answer that question? We went off on a serious sidetrack, but
no, I love this. I love that.
Great. I missed the sidetrack too. This is such BS.
So
are we going to get into Nicola's and Alexander's story from just that opening few pages. We're in 1367. Are we going to get more of that?
I don't want to get right now the arc is going to focus on Count Darius and basically that town of Nuremberg, Germany. Okay, and I hesitate to talk about any of the plans because I'm superstitious. Does that make sense? It's like,
Don't be doing nothing then.
I don't want to be like doing pie in the sky because I've done pie in the sky before and it broke my heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's just like, okay, I'm not counting any chickens until this chicken hatches and I sell this chicken. Okay. But the answer to that, without giving any details, is yes. Yes. But it depends on the success of the book, which is why we're here to promote it so that you can get those stories.
Okay.
Right.
So, I mean, is
the
story planned to go into more of like the Sisterhood of the Serpent or anything like that?
So you're going to see a lot of that next issue. And then we're also going to continue down the storyline of trying to rescue the little boy's sister.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then we're also trying to introduce almost as many monsters or vampire variants, as we're going to sort of call them, as we possibly can. And then we plan on making our vampire lore very rich and deep. Okay. So
are you going to create your own lore, or are you pulling
absolutely.
from a lot of different lores?
No, I'm gonna do for vampires what Tolkien did for Western mythology.
Hey, Chad, I just want to say that you're a god, and we love you.
Thank you. I'm not.
I just want to say that.
I appreciate.
You're
that.
not?
No.
All right.
Oh.
So
Well, that's messed up.
I was watching your Twitch streams a while back. You were actually doing some character designs for this book. Kind of, what can you tell me about the character designs itself? I mean, you have the metal collar, which makes sense for vampires. You got the pilgrim hat, which I'm wondering is it inspired by the Puritans?
Yes. Yeah.
What can you tell me about?
Well, he's basically like a freelance witch hunter. So basically, if you're going to tie like a religious significance to it, he would be the Spanish Inquisition, but he's on his own. Okay, so he doesn't have the authority of the church behind him, but he has his own righteous indignation.
Is he a lone wolf?
Yeah, he's a lone wolf. He's a completely lone wolf. But that's going to also sort of be the story, is that even people who think that they're lone wolves and acting on their own, that there's really like a lot of stuff behind the scenes that allows them to get past.
Oh, so this is some Game of Thrones type stuff.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
So and also the plan is that we release the official #1, solicit it through Diamond, and then we kickstart a deluxe edition that has an additional 4 pages in. And will be exclusive only to people who fund the Kickstarter. And in that one, I plan to basically skip 1,000 years ahead and show, so we do plan on telling a lot of stories just within the quote unquote Death Watch universe.
Mm-hmm.
But just like imagine the powers vampires would have if they're far enough away from the sun that they. That there's not enough UV radiation to fry him when it's light out. Does that make sense?
That would be kind of interesting. So basically, the further away from the sun or a further planet from the sun potentially could increase the power of a vampire,
right?
In multiple different ways, because really their main weakness is sunlight.
Right. And then also, what would be the effects if it was like a completely secular society that didn't believe in God? You know what I mean? And not that I'm a religious person. I just like telling stories. Does that make sense? So I'm not trying
You don't have to be a religious person to tell stories.
And so
it's good to draw in those things, because they add a dimension and emotion to it and things like that, because some people will relate through that hierarchy structure, if you will, that religious overtone, because our society has done such a good job through movies and things like that really, it's like what Matt said, how he was able to kind of key in on that. What did you call him again?
Oh, damn. That's a bad time to freeze.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guess, Matt. Channel. What did you call the?
Are you talking about the Sisterhood of the Serpents?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
the guy that's hunting, or that is the lone wolf hunter, and you said that he was I want to say Quaker, but I don't think that. Puritan.
Well,
thank you.
Yeah. Puritan. Yeah. Yeah.
So as soon as I heard Puritan, I was thinking religious robes, somebody white and pure, or at least they perceive themselves to be pure. And then, you know what I mean? Like, so there's that when you bring in that religious tone, there is that good and evil automatically kind of ingrained into the story, to me anyways.
Well,
I don't know.
I think men are more binary when it comes to right and wrong. So men sort of see things like either you do that or you don't do that, and there's not a lot of room in between. Whereas women are much more like, hey, it's not only 50 Shades of Grey. Sorry, it's also
wait a minute.
Million colors.
Hold on, I love 50 Shades of Grey for one. For two,
but no,
I do see gray.
Well, there's only certain types of people that can see 50 Shades of Grey. It was actually an artistic term before it was the term of a.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, it's a thing.
Actually,
there's people that can see millions of colors, and there's people that can only see like 12.
Really?
Yes. There's people who can see things in their mind just by thinking about it, and then there's people who can't. So we're all, we're all human, but we're all slightly different, and we have different experiences. So, but yeah, so it's like there's going to be a side of the story told, and like I said, I should not be talking about any of this because it's all part of the sky. But there's a side of the story told through writer's eyes, and then there's a side of the story told by basically members of the Sisterhood of the Serpent.
Okay, well, I kind of want to get into that, not the characters themselves. When I'm looking at Death Watch, there's a really strong kind of Graham Nolan feel to it with the as far as the artwork. I love your clean lines and the big sweeping action. But one thing, we kind of talked about the character designs. There's such a unique look between the humans and your aliens and your demons. For this genre, I'm wondering.
Can I see an example?
Yeah.
We had
Oh yes. Yeah, I'm sitting there listening to you, Matt, and I'm like, sweeping. No,
yeah. This is probably going to be a cover that's exclusive to this issue. That last one we showed, because my daughters and my wife both agree that this is not empowering enough to women, so I got to change it. So this is going to be
very empowering. What are you talking about? She looks. Oh my gosh! I didn't realize that was going to go there. I'm sorry.
So
anyway,
Christmas. This is it.
I agree with you.
This is the only place you're going to get to see this art. It's been canned by the.
Wait a minute. Are you saying that this now is a Crypto Comics exclusive cover?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! You heard it here first, everybody. I just wanted to be the one that broke the news. Take that, Joe Rogan. I'm just kidding. Dude, that's awesome, because I ain't going to lie. That cover is perfect for this marketplace. Passion, intrigue, a little bit of creepiness.
I didn't even, and that's another thing I didn't even think about. I didn't think about the fact of, okay, so the physical.
Did you try to make her hands making the cross? Was that on purpose?
Yeah.
With the arms and everything? That's so bad. That's so badass, dude.
No, everything about that was on purpose. So if you look, the window behind them,
sick.
It's actually the I can't freaking say it.
It's the cross with the two lines.
It's the golden mean, the Fibonacci sequence. I can't say it right.
Okay.
But you know what I'm talking about? The measure
The golden
that's found
ratio.
the golden ratio found in nature. Yeah. So if you look, it basically goes all the way up. And
that is sick, dude.
Yeah. So
see, that's awesome. That's
So
awesome. That's what
planned.
makes Chad Hardin, or I should say Hardin art, spectacular.
Are we using my Instagram handle? Is that what's happening?
I don't know. Can I? I mean, I feel like I shouldn't have grabbed the Instagram handle like that, but it just felt so right. You know what I mean?
Okay, so now the story starts here in 1367, and this is actually Reiner's like great descendant or predecessor, but that he's descended from. Okay, so he's basically the first one to encounter these European vampires, or at least the first one to write it down from a.
Now wait a minute, are you doing any spoiler things that we don't want a spoiler thing about right now? Because I want to make sure that
it's implied in the story, and so we're just confirming the
Okay. I just wanted to visualize what the things that Matt was talking about, because he was really hitting on things, and I am not an art. I mean, I wish I was an artist. My kids are artists, and I'm an artist at heart, but I don't have the ability to see what you guys are saying. So this really helps me when I can actually follow. Go ahead, Matt.
Well, I was going to ask originally, are humans scarier? Like when you're actually drawing these out, scarier than your monsters, or can they be?
They can be. Well, humans are actually scared because humans are capable of extreme acts of evil. They're extremely unpredictable. Have you guys watched Empire of Chimps on Netflix? And we're 98%. We share 98% of our DNA with chimpanzees.
Yeah.
Go watch that stuff. They are savage to each other.
Yeah, that's why there's only 98%, dude. The 2% is the savage part.
Jared shares a little more than 98.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to tell people that. He's lying, guys. 99% doesn't count.
Guys, let me cut into the conversation here really quick. We had a bit of a technical issue, so none of the comments were working across different social media platforms. I think I've got it taken care of, but if everybody that's watching can just pop something in chat that things are working. Yeah, I think I've got it figured out now, but I just wanted to make sure. So if you guys were leaving comments in the chat or anything like that and we didn't get to them like we normally would, I apologize. It was just kind of a technical hiccup that we had here. And another thing is I don't want to zoom in on these pages too much while we're kind of showing this off.
Right.
Because there is a lot of elements of storyline, especially in the first few pages, and I don't want to give that away. Okay. So Chad, if you feel otherwise, let me know and I'll make sure to zoom in. But as somebody that's read it, I kind of want everybody to read it. I don't know if that makes sense.
I want everyone to read it too. So, and here's my question. You guys are tracking. I know you have sales inside the marketplace and you have sales outside the marketplace. When you left the convention, the last I had heard, or the last time we spoke at the convention, we're at 26. And
I have no idea now.
We sold 50. We sold 50 at the convention. So I was wondering, but there was one point in time where I think you had more sales online than we had.
I just want to point out that since this is such a uber collectible.
Yeah.
Hold the freaking phone.
I just want to make sure everybody notices this, especially Andrew Dodge, if you're in the chat tonight, buddy.
Oh my gosh. Look at this flex, y'all. He is flexing hard. Chad, did you do that on purpose? He does that just so he can flex on us all.
Well, he goes to the shows.
Oh,
he goes to the shows.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so
I actually let me go to Vegas anymore.
See Andrew and meet his cool girlfriend Tesla. So dude,
I got to drive Tesla.
Chad is talking about a person. You are talking about a vehicle, Jared.
I love driving that Tesla, dude. It was so awesome.
I just want to make sure everyone is aware that
I did. I got to drive a Tesla. It was fantastic. It was so cool.
So
the auto braking is incredible.
So what was cool was that Chad was essentially able to sell on the marketplace at the same time that he was in the convention.
Oh.
But we have something else to point out tonight.
Okay.
About the process of buying, which is pretty sweet. Again, we're having some technical issues tonight, so I'm hoping that this little video plays. I'm going to preface it though really quickly, just in case we have any issues. For those of you that are using Crypto Comics Marketplace, or anybody that would like to, make sure you go over and go to cryptocomics.com/u/Hardin Art. I think
Hardin Art.
Yep. Hardin Art.
And I believe it's Hardin _art. I think that's what he did.
It is. Yeah. Hardin _art.
You guys can follow Chad there and find a copy of the Ashcan of Deathwatch so that you guys can purchase this yourselves. And to make things even easier, we now have enabled. Actually, I think I can show this. I can show part of this process.
Yes.
On here. So let me do this.
We rock.
Let me do this. Okay, so let me go back to, again, I'm sorry, guys. We're having so many friggin' technical issues. We know that this is going to happen every time we make any type of announcement, too. Every time.
Dude.
So
look,
So what you can do is you can scroll down, you can see the book, and you can either go and check it out on our DApp, or you can now option to buy a new copy. You just have to agree to everything that's going on here.
Elon.
And you can purchase a new copy. But a lot of people have asked, well, how do I add funds to my wallet on Crypto Comics? How do I do those kind of things?
Very hard and very confusing.
Now you can just click on add funds. And as you guys can see,
wow,
we have now teamed up with a few different exchanges. I should probably word that differently. I shouldn't say we should.
Yes.
We now have the links to make it really easy for anybody that's new. Yeah. To go in. So for example, if you want to use Transact, this is my favorite. I'm very excited for this one. You can click on Transact and it doesn't show on StreamYards. Oh gosh.
Why don't you play the video, dude?
You know what? Yeah, let's try that. I was trying to do it.
Okay, everybody, put your hands together like this. Glitches in the Matrix. Dude, isn't that killer, Chad? Isn't that freaking killer?
That is very killer.
It is.
So what that means is that people are going to easily be able to just add funds in Matic to your account and buy whatever comics you guys want. It makes it much, much easier to buy anything off of blockchain. I'm excited about it because it's more adaptable, I think, for a lot of people that are wanting to be collectors. And it's really inexpensive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So super cool. But we wanted to announce that with Deathwatch to, help drive some sales. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
Everybody go buy a book.
These comics don't pay for themselves, unfortunately.
Yeah. And
leave a review, do all that kind of stuff, man.
Please and thank you. Yes.
Top-notch comic. I'd love it.
Wait, what's happening? I missed all of it because of freaking Starblink. I didn't swear, guys.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
So
share the comic, leave a review, do everything you can to promote it. Because if this don't work out, I got to go back to work for Marvel and DC. And
no,
I know.
Listen. Before I get cut out, Chad. Before I get cut out, you are an inspiration to me. I just want to say this. You know, there was a handful of creators that I've gotten to work with over the last several years, and I just want to say thank you to all of you. And I'm going to do it to each of you, but you are the first that I get to say this to. Watching.
Yep. Yeah.
I'll bet what he was gonna say is really deep and sentimental.
I know, right? And now it's gone forever. He's gonna come back. He's gonna be angry at us because his internet sucks. He's gonna project his issues on all of us.
I gotta tell you guys, Death Watch. I mean, it's one of my top favorite indie horror for 2023. It's such a unique comic. I love it.
Are these the issues you're talking about, or am I the issues?
We're talking about the comic issues.
Yeah.
How many issues are there?
A lot.
Okay. So in this Ashcan, you managed to introduce a whole new set of characters in the last panel and still make it like, oh, what's going on? It's how do you do that?
Well, so what did you notice about those characters, Matt? Did you notice
mask.
Anything?
That mask really did it for me.
Okay. Did you notice anything else?
Likes masks.
As far as like the robes, or
so there's actually a callback to the Sisterhood of the Serpent in the ghouls. So if you look at like the jewelry and the lanterns that they're holding, so it looks like a lot of the Sisterhood that awakened Darius in the beginning of the book are now basically ghouls under his power. So yeah, and then I threw in some He-Man reference. There's one guy that looked curiously close to Skeletor, because that's how I roll.
I did notice that.
That's how I roll.
I love it.
Not Skeletor, by the way. Hanna-Barbera / Warner Brothers / Discovery Plus. Please don't sue us. You know,
it's inspired by it.
Definitely inspired by it.
You're so allegedly, right? We can always add that
allegedly
word.
Inspired.
Allegedly.
We were inspired
That's
by
right.
it. It's not a swipe.
That's what I was talking about before I got cut off by Starblink. I was inspired by you, Chad, because you are a fantastic indie creator, and thank you for always pushing and showing me that I need to push too. Just thank you for that.
I just wish, okay, I'm going to say this for the younger people out there. If you get a Marvel or DC job, while your comic is like blowing up, okay, instead of taking on like 5 special issues in an annual, do your own book. And then when you have basically a graphics novel's worth of material, launch that stuff while people are reading your DC and Marvel stuff, because it's a much easier transition to make if you do what I did and you wait till after the fact. Because so the last time I was, don't get me wrong, I'm doing stuff for Harley all the time still, but the last time I was actually the assigned Harley artist was a considerable time ago, and I wish that I had this the second I stepped off of Harley, as opposed to making it 5 years down the road. So if you're a young creator, do as I say, not as I do, and put bank on yourself, okay? Because let me tell you something. While you're working for Marvel and DC, you think it's never going to end, and then one day they fire the entire editorial staff and replace it with kids who think you are a dinosaur. And but they just can't relate to you as well, and they're going to relate to, peers in their own age group or younger, and it's going to be harder for you to get work. So you need to build that foundation on yourself before you make your parachute before you jump out of the plane. I had to make my parachute on the way down, and it's a little bit more scary. Yeah, Yeah.
It's absolutely more scary. See, we're building a plane on our way down, so we're actually going to fly before we hit the ground, supposedly.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll see how that
But
works.
anyway.
I think we're just going to go faster into the ground. Maybe we can get deeper.
Oh, stop it! All right.
There's also stuff that you don't learn about comics until you actually start doing every freaking part of the comic. Like this is the first time I've done a comic without Gemma, and I'm like going, "Holy shit!" Sorry, but there's a lot of
language, Chad.
I know. That's the thought. Okay, like holy cow, she did a ton of stuff that I not only don't like doing, but I get angry that I have to do it. I mean, it's so there is a ton of work you have to do. So be prepared for that part of it. Anyway,
do you think it's worth it?
Yeah, because you know what? If you're gonna fail spectacularly.
Hell yeah!
And at least you had the balls to step into the arena, right?
Exactly.
We call them
that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people might make fun of you, be like, "Oh, dude, yeah, you had Harley, but after that, whatever." You sort of, and I'm like, you know what? There's so many creators who, when they get a chance to make an independent book, they don't do it because their egos can't handle it.
What do you mean their egos can't handle it? What do you mean?
Let me tell you something. I thought after I was on Harley that whatever I did, those Harley fans were going to follow me. No.
Oh,
most
really?
people follow the property. And it's just it's almost an assumption, and I know I did it too. You don't really pay attention to the creators of the work until you're a lot older. And there's a lot of people that don't even realize that that the artist has changed like 20 times.
I didn't even realize that happened.
Exactly.
I started working with these clowns.
Yeah, so so a lot of it's unintentional. I get people coming up to me all the time wanting me to sign Harley books that I had nothing to do with, and I have to explain to them, like, look, I didn't draw this issue. I had nothing to do with this issue.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be awkward.
So what happens though is you get used to a certain amount of success with everything you do. When I was at Boom Studios, we broke all records for Boom Studios with the Stan Lee comics. Okay, and then I went to Dark Horse and did Dragon Age, and Dragon Age was one of their best-selling comics outside of Star Wars. Okay, so like obviously for them, like nothing approached Star Wars numbers, but we were like the #1 book for them. After they lost, they lost. I was supposed to go over and do a Star Wars book, but Dragon Age was the consolation prize after they lost the license. So that was a smash success. And then I went back to DC, and there was probably 2 years where I was doing fill-ins again. But really, my first assignment back from Dragon Age was Harley. Almost, I mean, very quickly it was Harley, and then, and we were #1. So it's like I had two books from two different publishers that was their #1 selling title. And then I had one that was like, white hot for Dark Horse. And you sort of get used to that success a little bit. Mm-hmm. And when you create something that's creator owned and you don't have that same response, it's like someone telling you your child's ugly.
Ooh.
It hurts a little bit,
I'd say that hurts a lot.
And there's a lot of people that, and a lot of people will, their first time like writing a comic will be for Marvel or DC, and they'll just get a savage review. Dude, I've had some savage freaking reviews, bro, from people who I worship as like art gods. Like Todd Klein called my work sloppy one time, and I was like, dude, I mean, I had his books, you know,
Oh.
I'm a Todd Klein
No,
fan.
I'm just kidding. I'm just
You know,
kidding.
yeah, you know, and I'm just like going, but this is what Todd didn't realize is that I had 7 days to do that issue. And had I not finished that issue in 7 days, the title would have been canceled. So the fact that I actually stepped in to save the book, you know what I mean? That's way more important than how the book looks. You know, it used to be at Marvel and DC, you know, you missed your diamond deadline, and you just, not only did you put yourself out of work, you put out the colorist, the letterer,
team.
the writer, everybody. So that's like the worst thing that could happen to someone who's doing a book for the big two, is that you blow a deadline and you screw it up for everybody. That's the type of stuff that'll get you blacklisted. Legitimately blacklisted.
Hold that blacklisting, because I do have a question for you. Hey, this comes in from Rose. Hey, what about advertising your new comic on Instagram? Have I got permission to do that?
Absolutely.
Now, I'm assuming now.
Absolutely.
So I just have a quick question for you. People can go to Crypto Comics Marketplace or cryptocomics.com/u/Hardin_art, and they can join up and they can buy the Ashcan of your comic with the exclusive cover that will never be seen anywhere else. Right now. Am I correct in that?
Right now.
Okay. So Rose, yes, you can go into your account. You can share it out that way. You can also share out this video, because we're going to make sure that we have the links to Chad's Ashcan. This is actually, if I'm not mistaken, the first Ashcan we've ever done.
It wouldn't surprise me. And if I had a do-over, I wouldn't do this
either.
I wouldn't do the sketch cover on a digital edition. That was a little stupid. I'm sorry.
I ain't gonna lie.
It seemed like a good idea at the time.
See, I actually thought it made it stand out more.
Okay.
Yeah, we were like, it's a ghost cover, dude.
No,
I mean, if you look at all the other covers, there's, you know, all this artwork, the colors everywhere, and then
all of a sudden there's just a white page.
Yeah, it really stands out.
White. It does stand out. But the exclusive cover behind it is the treasure, in my opinion. So I think that's awesome.
Nobody's illusion asked what's an Ashcan. An Ashcan is a preliminary copy of a book that is basically sent out amongst staff and editorial to look for errors amongst a wide group of people, to get basically different eyes on it, and then correct all those errors before the final publication of the book. So it's basically like a sneak peek / super rough edition of a comic. And most of the time they're black and white, and they are 5x7. They're very small.
Oh,
so yeah. Wow. So we actually did our standard comic size, and we also did ours in color because we had the pages. So why not do it in color?
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you come up with
just going to ask?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just, so normally you would do an Ashcan in black and white because you don't have the colored pages yet, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Because you're making changes to things.
Yeah, Ashcans were very popular in the 90s. And color printing in the 90s was, so like if you went in and you basically just did a normal photocopy, it was 6 cents. But a color copy was like $1.25.
Oh, damn.
So if you're doing I think this one's actually 32 pages. If you're doing 32 color pages, that means you're selling your, right. It's too expensive. But now it's like, okay, a black and white version of a comic costs you $4, and a color version of a comic costs you $4.25.
Yeah.
Well, like what's stopping you now? But back then it was just cost prohibitive. And now it's,
we need to call it something different. Then we need to call it the rainbow can instead of the Ashcan.
No, you gotta carry on the nonsensical traditions and keep future generations wondering the mystery of it all.
The color can, how about that? What's those kaleidoscope? Call it kaleidoscope can.
We're not on magic mushrooms here, bro.
Oh,
I was going to say, please don't call it that.
They're really good for your mind, I hear, and depression and all that good anxiety, everything.
I'll let you know.
Hey, Chad, do you mind if I show the black and white at the back of the book?
Yeah, go right ahead. Yeah.
I already said I wasn't going to show too far, but there's
way
actually
to show off my favorite character.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to skip all the way to the end and then move backwards
Nice feature.
from the end. But so yeah, so here you can see like a full color of this pose here.
Oh, dude,
and
those
this will
dragons.
also no longer be seen because my wife and kids don't approve.
What?
So, oh yeah,
you're censoring yourself. Your wife and your kids have censored you.
Yes.
So again, is this an exclusive page to Crypto Comics digital version?
Well, this was also the cover for Artist Elite Presents 6, but yeah.
Oh,
too much upper body
cleavage
there. Yeah.
What? I thought her name was Cleopatra.
Yeah.
I thought her name was Cleopatra at first.
I told you it's Broomhilda.
So how did you actually assemble, this team of the writers and the colorist, and how did you all come together?
Jared and I have been talking about this since like Free Comic Book Day.
The other Jared.
Yeah, Jared Gifford, sorry. Since Free Comic Book Day, like 2010. So,
guys, I don't think anybody confused Chad with working with our Jared.
Oh, no.
Wait a minute. Chad, you don't agree with them. You say, what? I would work with Jared.
No, I totally I don't know how much work Jared and I would get done, but we would work.
We would have lots of fun working. We would do lots
until his
of
internet stops.
So so anyway,
don't be messing with Elon Star
when it came time to actually do the book, I was like, okay, I have to do it with Jared. I have to pull him in, and we have to do it together. And issue 1 went really, really well. And we, I like I said, I keep telling him and myself that we just got to focus on this issue, getting this issue out to as many people as we can. And so, just so you know, the plan is I'm going to do a book a month. I'm going to do an issue of Death Watch. I'm going to do an issue of something else to pay the bills for the next issue of Death Watch. And then we're going to hopscotch until Death Watch basically is generating enough that it can become like the full-time thing. So, so right now we're planning on 4 issues a year. And then hopefully like if gauging off the success, then, we can get into full production, which would probably be around 8 issues a year. And if it really goes well, we can bring in more staff and really start producing. So,
okay.
Yeah. But that's all very pie in the sky. That's all pie in the sky. Mm-hmm. So we gotta sell this one first.
I have to know, is there any chance of Fry and I getting a wanted poster in this one as well?
Oh my head. Listen to this, man. Has he no decency? Has he no tact? My goodness, Matt. Matt, stop it. Stop it, Matt.
So,
Chad, remember that conversation we had?
Which timeline do you want to be in?
I love that the 1800s. I would love to see like nailed up to a tree. That'd be awesome. The wanted poster, not me and Fly. The wanted poster. I'm like, dang, man.
Whoa. What kind of book are we watching?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, that's okay. Absolutely.
What are you drinking there, Chad? A little bit of.
I am drinking a delicious concoction of Gatorade and caffeine. Yeah.
Yes.
So
it's called the Big Gulp.
It's the Maverick version of a Big Gulp.
Isn't that the Big Gulp? Isn't Maverick Big Gulp? Or is that Chevron?
7-Eleven is Big Gulp, right?
Oh my God! I'm sorry, Sev.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe I did that to him.
This is just the extra large Maverick foam cup.
Hey, man, Adventure's First Stop or something like that.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. So once you had your characters designed, this Ashcan, actually out there, Besides the stuff that your wife and kids don't approve of, what would you have done different?
Restricted you.
So here's a few of their suggestions, and I actually agree with their suggestions. They basically said, look, no female reader wants to look at a damsel in distress. So she's like, if you're going to draw a woman getting eaten by a vampire, at least have the decency to draw her fighting back. And I'm like, that's legitimate. That's a legit, no one's just going to be, oh, here's my neck, But there is sort of that lore, though, that vampires are ultra seductive. So, and there's a lot of that in page, 3 or 4 or 5? So, anyway, I have to walk an even finer line than I normally walk. But I would, like I said, I've always said, I want my books to be all ages books. And I don't want to exclude anybody. I want to be as inclusive as I can possibly be. And if I can just adjust those few simple things and bring in like 20% more female readership, I will gladly make those adjustments. So,
well, I think it's good that you're taking that your wife and your daughters are interested to give you that kind of feedback, because I think it is opening you up to a better market. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you are able to give women that sense and that feeling within the story, because that's what moves people is being drawn into it. And I'd have to agree with them. If you're drawn in and then you feel helpless, that's not very fun.
Right. Well, and that's what they're saying. They're like, you can still do sexy. Everybody appreciates sexy, but
thank you.
It's just they want to see a little bit more realism in it than fantasy in it, especially adolescent male fantasy, which is pretty sophomoric in any case. So there you go. But let's see, crypto comics, so badge code.
Hey, so my question is, who came up with the name and why?
Okay, so in our reading where we were studying, and Jared and I had, did you guys remember the Time Life books from like in the 80s?
Yeah,
where they did the series, and like they had a series for like the paranormal, which was like aliens and the Men in Black and all that, and then they had one for the Wild West, which covered like the cowboys, the pistoliers, Native Americans,
cowboys and aliens.
Yeah, and they would release like these really incredible book series for just a multitude of topics. Like my uncle had all the ones on World War II. Well, one of the ones that they released, and this was just in time for the Satanic Panic, they basically released this one that there was almost like, in my opinion, a compendium to Dungeons and Dragons. So like you could buy these books and just incorporate them into your Dungeons and Dragons campaign.
Wow.
And they're fantastic. And they have one entire issue basically called Creatures of the Night, but that issue is like 90% vampires and 10% werewolves. And if you trace their origins back, they merge. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
If you go back far enough, down the evolution horror tree, at one point, vampires and werewolves are the same monster. So
really,
it's a really interesting point, like how tied the two mythologies are together. So anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Back to the question: where do we come up with Death Watch? In Eastern Europe, they were so convinced of vampirism. So you have in Ireland, you have the ceremony of the wake, and the wake is the hope that they're just so drunk that eventually they're going to get over their hangover and sit up. Okay, and that's why they called it a wake, because they couldn't at times.
What?
Yeah, well, they didn't know if you're dead or if you're just really, really, really like passed out drunk. So they would call it a wake.
Every time I take Jared to a convention.
Yeah, I can imagine.
What? Oh,
I want to know realistically, how often that happened.
Well, it was realistic enough that they didn't call it a wake in Eastern Europe. They called it a death watch. And if you woke up, they cut your head off because they were convinced that you were a vampire.
Oh my geez, are you serious? So
I am dead. I am one. So this is legit. This is legit. Yes.
So if you got Death Watched, you're dead.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Yeah.
no matter what.
If you woke up, you're like, I'm not dead yet. They're like, vampire. So yeah. But they called it a Death Watch, and I thought that was really cool. Yeah.
So
That's
don't
really
get drunk and
name.
pass out in Eastern Europe, basically.
Yeah.
So
Rose Kirby came in asking if she shares the book out, how many days it'll be going. So this isn't a campaign. This is a book that's available to buy on Crypto Comics. So
this will be available in Crypto Comics.
Yeah.
Available
and
now.
The link to the book is inside of the chat.
Exclusive.
Above those, if you would
And
like to
just
share
for anybody out there,
Looks
I love
like Mark
talking over
May's on here too.
I'm sorry.
What, Jared?
I was just gonna say, when you
Mark.
do purchase this Ashcan from Chad Hardin and his crew, they get paid almost immediately, which helps fund their endeavors.
Absolutely.
Almost immediately.
I am very
Just
much in
point that
debt.
out.
I am very much in debt with this issue.
Hey, welcome to the party, bro.
I did all the sweat equity I possibly could on my own, but I made sure that everybody that worked with the Hardin Comics team basically made a Marvel DC rate. So
That's cool.
Oh wow, dude.
and
That's
they got
really
they got paid
cool.
the second they got done, they got paid. So
Chad,
and then royalties kick in after 10,000 issues, because I figure it's going to take 10,000 issues before I can cut myself a paycheck. But yes, absolutely.
How convenient. There are 10,000 issues in Crypto Comics.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It is highly appreciated. Everything helps.
You can support Chad Hardin with his Ashcan right now. The proceeds will be going to this project. If anybody is unclear about that, he is pushing forth a project, Death Watch, and that project is just a starting point for him. Chad Hardin is a very well-known artist who has done great things, and given the opportunity, he can be that indie creator because he's got the talent and the passion if you help him fill his wings.
What does it feel like Jared should be in black and white with like a Sarah McLachlan song playing in the background that whole time?
I know,
right? Of an angel.
Of 4.6 Matic, you too can adopt a Chad Hardin.
Are you serious? What did you guys do? It was so fucking beautiful. I was tearing up. Jeez, I hate this Starblink, man. No, I don't, Elon. I'm just kidding.
All right, Dad, I do got another question for you.
Okay.
Out of everything, what is your favorite horror franchise?
Well, the first horror movie I saw was Aliens.
Oh.
And I love Ridley Scott. If there's a better director than Ridley Scott, there aren't that many. I don't think I've ever watched a Ridley Scott film that I did not think was top notch. He's up there with Kubrick, Scorsese, Spielberg. There are Spielberg movies that don't make as much money as other Spielberg movies. Is that who's sonar pinging our show?
Jared.
Oh my gosh.
Can't believe you.
That would be a big one. Aliens.
It's Matt.
Alien, Prometheus, Alien Covenant. There's a lot of rumors that they're going to cut Aliens out of the canon. I think that's a mistake. I think if you're going to start at a franchise, you should start at 3. But there's a lot of people that love 3. There's a lot of people that love 3. There's a lot of people that Alien 3 was their first Alien movie, and they think it's the best one out there.
Wait a minute. Is that Aliens? Or is that Aliens?
That's the second one.
It was Alien in 1977 by Ridley Scott. And then the sequel, Aliens, what was it? 1984? 1984, James Cameron.
That was with the Marines, right?
Yes. Yep. And I agree with you. It was definitely a worthy sequel. It was a worthy sequel. But I always, I always like the original source material. I'm the person that likes Star Wars better than Empire Strikes Back because there's no Empire Strikes Back without the foundation on Star Wars. Whereas
Star Wars was one of the best movies of all time.
Chad seems to be having issues with his internet suddenly. I don't know.
Don't worry, Chad. I can take care of that real
Something's
fast.
definitely wrong with his audio. I don't think he meant what he just said.
But I also really love the vampire. There's probably not a vampire movie that I haven't seen. Or
have you seen Renfield yet? Have you seen Renfield yet?
I haven't bought it yet, but I'm going to. So my wife says I can buy one digital download movie a month, and I bought Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, hold on. Okay, wait a minute. We're having a conversation right now because you brought that up because I just saw that.
Yeah.
So I got a real problem with Hollywood and their Dungeons and Dragons movies that they keep coming out with. This is BS. Okay. They need to just take and Chad, will you help me get the word out there to all those big wiggies in freaking whatever La La Land? If they would just take Dragonlance Chronicles 1, 2, and 3 books and use them and create the freaking whatever they got to do to make the movie so that we can have 3 decent Dungeons and Dragons movies, I would really appreciate it.
No, they're not going to listen to me because that's the same argument I use for Star Wars. Why didn't they just make Heir to the Empire?
That would have been so good.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I agree.
And you know what's funny? Just now are they starting to tie Thrawn back in? Just now. How many years has it been since those books? 25, 26, 27 years? And they're just now figuring out that this is the storyline that people actually want to see and hear? No, I'm with you. But I actually did enjoy the movie. Yeah. Dude, listen to me. Movies are not meant to be taken seriously. They are meant for you to forget about all the shit.
Come out with one.
For 2.5 hours just to forget like how shitty things actually are. Sorry.
Yeah, but dude, it's Dungeons and
things actually are.
There is so much great source material. There's Grit Stu Erden in the Forgotten Realms, okay? He has a whole encyclopedia of books of fantastic adventures that they could probably put Ryan Reynolds into that. And do some great.
Do you remember the really poopy Saturday morning cartoon that came out in the 80s for Dungeons and Dragons?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you remember the other atrocities that were Dungeons and Dragons?
Yes. Everything for Dungeons and Dragons. And they have so much good source material. That's what drives me crazy.
But aren't we closer to the promised land now than we were 20 years ago?
Hollywood, pull your head out and make us a D&D movie we can at least...
I can honestly say I haven't seen Jared this emotional about any book series at all ever.
I have a question.
Dude, Dragonlance Chronicles was some of the biggest books I ever read when I was a kid because I didn't read.
Hold on. Jared, hold on. Matt, what were you saying?
Okay. So speaking of the whole, Hollywood thing, Chad, I gotta ask, if Death Watch was to become a actual Hollywood feature film, who would you cast?
I would love for Tom Hardy to be writer.
Ooh, damn, that's a good
I think Tom Hardy, he just like legit won that jiu-jitsu championship.
Mm-hmm.
So he plays like a badass on camera, but he's like a world champion in like one of the toughest martial art disciplines out there. So he's like hardcore. I also really liked Clint Eastwood's son. Is it Ryan Eastwood in The Outpost?
Yeah.
Dude, that guy looks so much like his dad. It is freaky. It's like a time machine watching Clint Eastwood all over again.
Was it Scott?
Is it Scott?
I'd have to look it up. But yeah, I know who you're talking about. He was in Suicide Squad, actually.
And he was also in I hate being named.
What's his name?
Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood's son.
Clint Eastwood's son.
Scott Eastwood, is that what it is?
Scott? Yeah, okay.
I think.
He was also in a Guy Ritchie film, Son of Man. He was the big bad in Son of Man.
Dang, he does look like his dad.
Yeah.
Tall drink of water.
For Darius,
I'm
he'd
sorry.
have to be. You know who? Gosh, he'd have to be tall, dark, and handsome.
All right, I'll take the part, but only if I get paid well.
Dang, Fry, you jumped on that one quick. Dang it.
I didn't want to make it uncomfortable for Chad to ask on stream. That would make things weird.
Yeah, it would make it. I mean, aside from the fact that no production value, never mind.
Shut up.
All right, so your main bad guy.
Gosh, I don't know.
I could be a dude in a robe with a mask pretty well, Chad.
Yeah, right. We all could.
I could pull that off.
We could all throw on a gold mask and some hoods.
I mean, especially if that mask made me look good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
gold.
no, I would look a lot better with a gold mask. That's for sure.
Right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Jared, any mask will make you look better. Trust
me.
Okay,
I gotta tell you guys a funny story. So you guys know that my daughter got married yesterday, right?
I know.
Say what?
Okay. So my daughter got married yesterday, and my brother came over to my house to shower before going to the wedding. He goes, "Dude, there is not a comb in your entire house." Because it's all girls and me. I think he had to comb his hair with my dog's brush. Like, that's the only comb he could find. So
I love it.
Would you cameo in your own movie, Chad?
Absolutely.
Oh, here. Sorry, I'll put that back up.
Yeah.
So Sean King came in and says he has been in a lot of stuff. This is going back to Scott Eastwood, Flags of Our Fathers, Suicide Squad, The Longest Ride, to just name a few.
Right.
Sean flexing his Hollywood knowledge.
Yeah. And then, also Son of Man and The Outpost. I think Outpost is his best movie to date, for sure. I think Outpost. A lot of eyes should be on that movie. I was shocked that it didn't get. Yeah, it was. I liked it a lot.
So tall, dark, and handsome. Could The Rock play it?
No, too old. Like I would. Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm not an ageist. Okay, so like if we're gonna CGC the hell out of it,
you sit around and say you're not an ageist when you just say he's too old.
I would love for Antonio Banderas. Like mentally, that's who I picture when I draw is Antonio Banderas. And Antonio also played in Interview to Vampire. He basically, played like the European brood, king, and he's also, Desperado. Yeah, so I mean, like mentally, like, but I would, I'd also love to see like Keanu Reeves. But the problem with doing a vampire is vampires are eternally young. They're not,
So you'd have to get Keanu Reeves to play it.
You would have to, if you got Keanu Reeves to do it, you'd have to make a perfect Keanu Reeves, one that's even more perfect.
We could do Antonio Banderas and use CGI, Chad. Boom.
Yeah, but listen. Every movie executive out on the planet knows that if they just cast a younger actor, number one, they're going to save money on the salary, and then number two, they're going to save money on not having to spend it on CGI. So, especially on an unknown property, like I would, so I'd have to think of someone. Who is Spock in the new? That Spock is pretty dope
in the new show.
Or Strange New Worlds.
Oh, I love that show.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name.
I can't think of it either. I keep wanting to say the one that was in the movies with Chris Pine, but that's wrong too. No, I'm too old for this. Let's play another game. The Alzheimer's is already creeping in.
Yeah, let's obviously we're going down a track that our minds are not built for.
Oh my gosh, dude, I swear. Well, I haven't Okay, there we go. All right.
Ethan Peck.
Yeah.
Yes.
Peck.
He's
Peck,
the
Peck,
perfect
Peck.
Spock.
Yeah, Chad. Oh, Willow. For those who
Willow,
were
that's
wondering.
right. Yeah, never cancel Willow. What the heck? Disney Plus?
Dude, they canceled Willow.
I know.
The show.
That
What
was a
happened?
bitch move. I don't know, but it should have got a
Really?
season
Was it
2.
good?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
I loved it. People hated it.
Really?
I loved it. It was fan service.
I actually haven't watched it yet because I keep trying to get my kids in one area. So I'm like, okay, you got to watch the movie and then we'll watch the show. But there's always one kid gone doing something. So it's like, nah, I'll wait.
I got them on the show and like only 2 of them made it to the end. I was like, y'all suck.
Yeah. So I think Picard did it right. Where Picard started as something completely different from everything you'd seen before, and then by the last season it was pure fan service. But at that time, everyone that joined with the starting of the series was along for the ride. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
well, that last episode was perfection.
Yeah. So, to you, but no, I would love to. I'd love to be on a fly on the wall. But the biggest reason why I did it, why I do the independent stuff, is because I felt so jilted when they didn't give me a special credit for Suicide Squad. I was heartbroken, man. I thought I got done dirty, you know.
Really?
Yeah. I think
so. So now, talk to me about this special credit because I'm not as knowledgeable as these two gurus.
Well, when your comics are basically when your creations are used in a comic book movie, the only compensation you usually get is a special thanks in the credit. Okay.
Oh wow.
But just that special thanks can give you a boost at conventions and shows. It gives you sort of like a street cred. Like somehow you're tied to that. You know, like I'll give you an example. Like Jim Starlin probably hadn't been to a show in 20 years until Ventures Endgame. And then all of a sudden, he probably had like a year. He's still at shows now, just because he was so influential in the storyline with the Infinity Gauntlet. You know, basically that's the story you were watching. That Avengers Arc 1, that was the Infinity Gauntlet. Okay, with all, everything else shoved in there. You know, they had Civil War shoved in there, but as far as like the long game that they were playing. It was basically Jim Starlin's Infinity Gauntlet story. Okay. And there's other creators that worked on it, but all I'm saying is, it basically it brings you out and it gives you recognition, and then all of a sudden it sort of reignites people's nostalgia. And so, like, if you can get your name in special credits, especially one that does well, then it's just a boost to everything. But what's even though they use.
Sorry, what's your goal with Ashcan? Because you're going for the indie, you're pushing, you're fighting, and trust me, I understand that feeling. It's like a mountain
stuff right there,
crushing
guys.
you.
Started talking about
what
bad things at Warner Brothers and.
Hey Chad, your connection actually just pulled a Jared on you for a minute there.
Oh no!
Wait, what? Holy shit! All I heard was conspiracy theory, Ashcan, freaking what the?
So anyway,
I blinked out, and you're blinking out. We're all blinking out together.
I just felt really jilted when Suicide Squad rolled around, and they used so much of my material from the books. Harley with a missile launcher, first person. Harley's outfit. First, Amanda Connor and I simultaneously. Okay, the parrot scene. Do you think it was fun drawing 1,000 parrots in that comic book? You know what I mean? So it's like, if you're literally going to take my pages out of the book, just give me a thumbs up. That's all I'm asking. It costs you guys nothing to put my name in the credits.
Right?
Didn't do it.
But Chad, one actor did give you a thumbs up.
He did.
Who's that?
Yeah, that is David Dastmalchian. Am I saying that right?
I think so. I wouldn't be the
who is Peter DeVries in the new Dune.
Oh, he's
Polka Dot
also
Man, also in the Suicide Squad.
Man.
Yeah. But he's been in a ton of movies and TV series. And he's a giant nerd. Giant nerd.
He's a huge comic buff.
Oh, yeah.
Like surprisingly huge comic buff.
And he's also into Warhammer. So like he's almost like he's like another Henry Cavill, where he is, like, super nerdy. Where it's like cool to be a nerd. Yeah. So but yeah, we got to do a panel with him at Amazing Comic Con Vegas. And he read Death Watch because he wanted to find out about Jared and I, like, as preparation for the issue. Loved it. And he's also doing a vampire comic called Count Crowley, and I believe that's with Dark Horse. And then he has other stuff planned as well. So he has more stuff planned coming out with Dark Horse. But no, it was awesome. That was definitely a highlight. Did you go to that one, Andrew? Did you go to that panel? Yeah, that was definitely a highlight of the show. So that was really nice.
A great panel.
Yeah.
So guys, we're up to an hour and 20 minutes.
Okay.
Now.
Hold on.
And
1 second. Time out. Hold on, Frey later. No, I'm just kidding. So Chad, what is your goal with the Ashcan? Like, what are you trying to achieve right now?
I just want as many people. So it is a very limited run. Okay. We only made 100 physical copies of the books. There are 10,000 digital editions. So it's very much more available through Crypto Comics than it is through the physical copy. So, awesome. but most comic books, it's reversed, where you have way more of the physical edition than you have of the printed edition. So really, if you want, and we are very close to selling out. Matter of fact, I might just cap the sales on it because I want to have a few issues to run with the Kickstarter. I don't want to completely sell out. And then, so like if I'm gonna do 10 issues or 20 issues from the Kickstarter, I basically got to pull the rest of the books that I have, just in case some of them get damaged in shipping. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So how does the campaign work if you're not giving digital copies with your campaign? If you only have 20, this is different.
He's talking about
physical copies versus digital copies.
I'm calling dibs on one.
Okay.
So your main objective is to fund this project through digital distribution versus physical distribution.
Yes, because digital distribution is a million times more effective than physical distribution. It's okay. Well, first of all, number one, it opens it up to everybody in the world. Everybody. Okay. Do you know how hard it is to get anything overseas? I mailed one comic to somebody overseas. Just the duties on that comic made it like $65.
We've been trying to send Jared to Iraq for like 3 years now. And it's tough.
First off, I was there ready to go, and you told me that the flight was canceled.
Yeah, they wouldn't let us ship a live animal.
Is that what it was?
Something about the tariff laws.
Is that what you kept trying to put me in the crate? You're such a...
No, that was just a company picnic.
Oh.
Totally unrelated.
Oh, good. I thought I was going to the Bahamas and I was going to end up in... Where does... Madagascar.
Yeah. So what's cool, guys, is that, like I said earlier, we did a cool little update on Crypto Comics Now. You guys can fund your wallet by just using a debit or credit card. Stupid easy, awesome to use. If it's the first time you use it, there's a couple of government things that jump in the way. They make sure you take a picture of your driver's license and stuff like that. What that's for,
they know
so
who you are.
so that the U.S. government knows who's buying crypto.
They know you're real, not some fakey.
But the nice thing is after you do it once, it's like dang near instant that you can load
Yeah.
anything to your wallet and support different indie creators and do that kind of a thing. And even still, it's wicked fast to do it for your first try.
Yeah,
It's
it's so
just
much nicer.
surprisingly
It
easy.
really is.
It
Yeah.
gets better and better and better
Comics
all the
team.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. So
It really does. The team has been working hard at that, and everybody out there, we just want to plead with you. Help Chad Hardin
mhm.
stay indie.
Yeah.
Don't let him sell out to the jerks at DC and Marvel.
Don't
kidding.
work that way
I'm
because
just
there's a
kidding,
lot of
Marvel.
people.
I'm just kidding.
Jared, there's
Give
a
him a
lot of people that
six-figure
would
job.
hear that and go, wait a minute, we could get Chad back on a DC book.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
Oh,
you know what I
really?
mean? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So be
Oh,
careful.
That
All right.
backfired. But no, really, honestly, if you could share this out, help Chad fund this project so that he can stay in the indie world. It's not easy for us indies.
It is not.
Holding down multiple jobs, trying to feed your family can become very stressful. And without your help, without your kindness and your heart and your sharing and getting this message out for Chad, it makes it that much harder. But to get
Yep.
I'm gonna take the football and run with that. That's one of the things that sabotaged temerity. Is I tried to do comics as a side hustle. I went. I was going to be a professor, and the independent books were going to be my side hustle. It does not work out that way. It doesn't work out that way. If you don't give it your all, you're dooming yourself. And so, and I wish I would have realized that, these are hard knock life lessons that I'm learning as I go. But here's my promise to you. Every time I do a book, I'm going to learn, something about doing that book, and I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. So, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. To all your fans out there, what do you got to say to them, Chad?
Thank you. Seriously, thank you. Like, if it wasn't for my fans, I would be teaching still. I would basically be working a job and don't get me wrong, I do think teaching is a noble profession. But
it is.
The expectation for anybody going to college is that they're going to get a degree that qualifies them to work in that field. And one of my biggest problems with what I did is out of the 6 years I was teaching, I maybe had 6 or 7 students that were working in the field after they got an education from me. As opposed to when I went to college, 100% of us were able to go and get jobs in the field of art.
What?
I feel that's a little scammy. Does that make, I didn't feel noble. I felt like I was basically paying my wage by ripping off kids that didn't know any better. I almost felt, and I told them this. I told them this. To be fair to them, though, I told them this. I was like, look, things have changed. The world's changed. Okay. And honestly, if you want to secure your future, go take a business class and watch YouTube videos for the art. Because it's getting the American dream is still there, but boy, you gotta hustle. You gotta hustle. It's not gonna fall in your lap. It's no longer low-lying fruit. It's fruit at the top of the tree. So you gotta be a smart little monkey, get your butt up that tree before everybody else.
I wouldn't even say you have to be smart, Chad. I would say you just have to have, that relentlessness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Persistence. Because
persistence for sure. Because here's the thing, I'm not that smart, and I fall all the time. Like, I'm running into walls constantly, but instead of going, oh, that wall beat me, I go
figuratively. He literally runs into walls nonstop.
Yeah, I do. Like,
his house has those little bumpers like the bowling alley. It's crazy. And then he froze right then.
All right, guys. I'm going to say this. Advice to everybody that wants to get into comics. If you want to make it in comics, what you have to do is put me and Fry in a wanted poster. That's all I'm saying.
That's true.
Holy crap. How did we get back to them one? I feel like this isn't very honorable, Chad, because I invite you onto the show and then they just use it to try and promote themselves on wanted posters.
Easy to do. It's so easy to do. Oh yeah.
Jared's never
Hey,
been on a
man.
wanted poster.
Yeah.
I mean,
Jared,
come on, man.
you
Like,
froze. Okay, you froze. That's all I'm
We got to
saying.
take advantage of the opportunity, man. Smart little monkeys.
can't believe you would be using Starblink against me, Matt.
Hustle monkey.
This is
Nobody
unfair.
forced you to move out in the middle of nowhere in Idaho. Nobody. That was a choice you made, buddy.
You know, guys,
You're lucky to have potatoes.
I have
Maybe-
a field
maybe
of
Chad will
potatoes
put
next to
an
my
ad.
house.
Maybe Chad will put an ad for Starlink in a book for you.
I look forward to when the trucks tip over and we can go grab a bunch of free ones.
All right.
Oh,
everybody,
man, I
almost
make sure you
processed
guys
a
go and
rooster
follow Chad on
recently.
social media. Highly,
Yes, please.
highly recommend checking out his Facebook because he also live streams on Twitch. And Facebook tends to be the fastest way for you to get notified of his Twitch live streams. I know that sounds really weird, but I know a ton of people that actually follow him on Facebook so that they can find his Twitch easier.
Yeah.
It's
true.
And because you do like almost daily live sketch videos on Twitch at this point, right?
Once a week, but I think I have quite a big library at this point.
Yeah.
And
huge.
I missed last week because daughter getting married, daughter graduating. Like
you had a few things going on.
Oh, I'm ready for a giant nap right now. I am.
I bet. Yeah.
Dude.
Doesn't it suck when that happens? We get so old that we want naps instead of
I know. Instead of like hating naps, you're like, I don't want to take no nap.
At least you're not running into walls.
Don't take no nap. What? What'd you just say,
I'm
Brian?
just forgetting like famous people's names.
I never know famous people's names. I look at them and I'm like, it's like when I met you. I was like, what's your name again?
And that being said, the last comment on this video, depending on what platform you're looking at, and if anybody comments after I say this, which somebody will, I'm sure, is the link to find Death Watch on Crypto Comics. So go check that out, guys. Share it out if you
let's break some records.
Personally support it. It it's super helpful. I want to see this book go like crazy.
Me too.
This is going to be a cool one, especially since I have the physical copy.
Yeah.
For Chad.
So
right.
Engage.
And I do plan if you do want to join the live streams, I do plan on this Thursday, I made a contest for 3 people to get a free copy of the Death Watch Ashcan.
Nice.
What I didn't tell them is they're going to be fully colored commissions. So I'm going to be doing that on the live stream, giving those away, and then I'm going to be getting ready for my next what sale. So
what
those
time
are other
do you
ways.
normally do those?
Matt, you don't get it.
I do it Thursday from 5 to 7.
Mountain Standard Time. 5 to
MST.
7.
Yep.
Mountain Standard Time, Thursday from 5 to 7. That is your Twitch, and you get notified on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So I follow you on Twitch, but every time I get the notification, I go to on Twitch and you're wrapping up. Like, I don't know what is going on with Twitch.
I don't know.
Follow him on Facebook.
I will.
I'm telling you guys, go follow him on Facebook and Instagram and Crypto Comics and everywhere else.
Yeah.
You'll get those notifications.
Because he's Chad freaking Hardin, man. He literally worked on Harley. Oh, Harley, baby. Ooh.
Oh God, he just made that really weird, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He sure did.
I was reading the comments. So
Thank goodness.
Yeah, I'm gonna close this dang thing out, man. Jeez. Let's go. But yeah, everybody go make sure you follow.
Somebody commented after the link. Thank you, nobodies. You're sweet. We knew you would.
All right, y'all. Have a good night.
Look, Chad, all I'm saying is you got glasses, I got glasses. What do we got to do to get something done here? I'm just asking for a little wanted poster in the corner of their wanted posters.
Okay.
Oh, you're so awesome.
I can have your wanted posters for killing Matt and Andrew.
God,
Wanted for the murder
How is
of
this
Matt
fair?
and Andrew.
So, hey, guys.